Hi and welcome to Reseller News. My name is Rich Pasini. Today is August 28, 2018. Thank you for tuning in. I just want to give a shout out to all the new subscribers who subscribed to my channel recently. Thank you very much. It is greatly appreciated. And for those who are not familiar with me, my name is Rich Pasini. I do the Reseller News. I do sneak peek videos, demo videos, and intro videos. And I give money saving tips whenever they become available to me. So be sure you just hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification and give it a thumbs up if you like what I do. Without further ado, let's get started with the news. I'm going to bump out of here right now and I'm going to go to the screen here. But before I do that, folks, I want to ask Cortana. And for those who don't know what Cortana is, it's an embedded, what do you call it there, assistant, artificial intelligence assistant that answers questions, will help you set up appointments, remind you if you have to buy food, and so on and so forth. It comes with Windows 10 operating system, and it's called Cortana. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to ask Cortana what the weather is in New York, because I haven't heard the news. I haven't had a chance to listen to the news today, so now is the best time, and I could show you how it works. So you're going to see me muting my mic on and off, or else I'll get double feedback. So I'm going to be shutting it off every time after I ask a question. I'm going to power it off and then power it back on. But this is just to give you an example how it works. So let's get started. Cortana, what's the weather in New York?
In New York, it's sunny and 97 right now. The forecast shows mostly sunny skies and a high of 97.
Thank you.
No problem.
And there you have it, folks. That's Cortana. That's how it works. Anything you ask, when you got to set it up, you got to do the voice recognition. And, you know, it's a little time to set up, but once you get to it, you know, you get it all set up there. It's a pretty little handy, you know, thing to have. You know, she'll remind you to go out and buy food or keep appointments for you if you got dental or doctor appointments, and if you have to have your car service, it'll remind you of all those different things. Cortana is a pretty good feature to have and to use. But anyway, let's get started. We're going to start off with this one here. I'm going to talk a little about what's going on here, and then I got some other things I want to share with you guys. So without further ado, this came out August 26, 2018. And it's off of e-commerce bites. And just to give you guys a heads up, I don't read everything verbatim, so I'm going to try to make this short and sweet as possible. I always say that, folks, but it always gets a lot longer than expected. I do apologize. Let's get started. It says eBay sellers can now make offers to watches. It goes on to say, welcome to the new eBay, where auction decline, haggling is encouraged. eBay sellers can now make offers to watches and to the shoppers who ask them questions. On the flip side, buyers can make an offer to a seller even if the seller doesn't have the best offers enabled on their listings. Here's the rundown on some of the latest features that let eBay buyers and sellers cry. Let's make a deal. eBay sellers making offers to watches, the latest move in eBay's haggling strategy. eBay is running a new pilot where sellers can initiate best offers up to 10 buyers who are watching their item, and how eBay explains it. I'm not going to read the whole thing, folks. If you want to read this, the story you're going to be looking for, it's on ecommercebites.com, and the story you're looking for is eBay sellers can now make offers for to watchers. I think this is also going to entail about leaving your phone number too. I think this is the one where it has it. I know there was another one that they had where you could do your phone. You could, you know, include your phone number in there. I've done that there. I opted in. I don't know. I think it's going to come out in September sometimes, folks. So you could check into that if you get a chance. I don't have a problem with it. The only thing I said in my other videos, I'm just going back up here again. My other videos, if you're going to include your phone number in there, make sure you put specified times. Tell the people that you're on the East Coast, because if you're getting somebody from California calling you up at 8 o'clock at night, I think there's what, a 3-4 hour difference. You might be getting, you might be sleeping or getting ready to go to bed or whatever, and these people are calling you up are going to be disturbing you all hours of the night. So put down your hours of operation, 9 to 5, 7 days a week, or Monday through Friday, and you also want to, what you call it there, tell them that you're on the East Coast. Let people know the time zone, the time difference, because I'm telling you, folks, if you don't, People are going to call you all hours of the night, and if you want to be up all hours of the night answering phone calls to potential buyers, that's totally up to you. But me personally, that's how I'm going to do it when it finally gets opted in. I'm going to put where I'm in the East Coast, and I'm going to put my hours of operation. So keep that in mind, folks, for yourself. For yourself. Let's bump out of here. Here's another one over here. eBay vacation mode didn't prevent penalties for late shipping. This came out Saturday, August 25th, 2018. Here's a person that wrote into Ina. Dear Ina, I have enjoyed your informative newsletter for years. Thank you for your continued efforts. I have been selling on eBay since 2004, opened my store in 2009. My unsettling experience happened when I got home on my vacation, went to my orders to ship, and all said past due. Let's read over here, move my mouse here. It says I called eBay hoping to get it removed, that my shop was on vacation. I was told that only then that it could be done is for me to plead my case. All right. My daughter also has a shop on eBay and had the same problem for a few months ago. She said she called several times to get it straightened out, to no avail. Then it goes over here to say we were both told that our standard would be below standard, so we're putting our shop on vacation is a farce. They didn't have an answer when I asked why is there, if there is, it doesn't do anything for us. No answer. And it says if you need to clarify anything, shoot me an email. Warm regards, Barbara. Listen, I just opened up a store. I think I mentioned my other videos. I opened up a small store. It's the starter store. It's the one I did it for the year. It's for $4.95. I like it. It gives me 100 listings. Anything over 100, I get 100 free listings, but anything over that, I do pay the 30 cents, I believe it is. I think it's 30 or 35 cents, whatever. It's one of those there. So right now, I'm going to try to keep my listings at 100 because it'll be, for me, I figured it out. It'd be cost effective because I've been getting bills very high from insertion fees, good to cancel. And good to cancel is going bye-bye. I mean, I am getting rid of good to cancel. I am right now. I'm going to be listing everything with best offers because I'm hoping to move a lot of the merchandise I have out, and I'm hoping this is going to work. What I like about the store is you could also add categories to it as well. So, like if you're selling, let's say you don't see certain categories in there, you could add it to your store, and that's what I've been doing. So I'm taking advantage of that. Then they have you got like you could shout out or put your what do you call it there? Premier features. I think they allow you to put 4 on there on top of your, in the front of your store. So when it boots up, people go to it, they can see your premier features or whatever things that you're going to be selling. Maybe you might want to put a banner up there. You could change your banner around, tell them you're having a sale or whatever, and something along the line. It does have its perks. I like it so far. I mean, I can't complain. I think this is going on my 2nd week. I think so far having it. I like it so far, so I can't complain about that. But for people, and I very rarely go on vacation, so for me this doesn't really affect me. But for those who do have a store and this does affect you, don't hesitate. Call up eBay. Said it many times before my other videos. Call them up, express your issues and concerns with them, and let you know how you feel, and that if they could do something for you. And my thing is, folks, anytime you call up eBay, always ask for a case number. You might say, why? What's that going to do? It's always good to have a case number because this way, if you do call it the 2nd time, you could give that case number and you have to repeat yourself with the whole story all over again. That's why it's documented, So leave it, always ask for a case number and ask them, okay, could you get back to me? Can you give me a call? Or could you, drop me a message or an email, whatever. Let me know what the status is to this issue I'm having and, see what happens with that, folks. But don't just take it, sitting, hands down, fight for your rights. You're paying for this service, so take advantage of it. But anyway, let's move right along. Here's another one. Survey reveals eBay Seller Hub portals need some work. This came out again August 25th, 2018. E-commerce Bytes recent survey of sellers indicates eBay Sellers Hub portal remains a work in progress with some advantages, but also missing some features, including some annoyances. For example, one reader said the one-page summary of selling an account status with links to commonly used functions was definitely helpful, but another call traffic reports inadequate, hindering sellers' ability to run their business efficiently. I don't know right now about the Seller Hub, the portal, if it needs work, and I really, I guess there are more sellers out there that are more exploratory than I am with this stuff, because for me right now, I'm not having those type of issues. But again, folks, I'm putting this out there, this information, So for those of you who are experiencing any problems like this, again, don't hesitate to call eBay. Let them know. You know, just keep them in loop. If they, especially if you're experiencing a problem. Remember, you're paying for this. Let's move right along. eBay turns classifieds into a growing marketplace. Grow marketplace sales. You know something? I was trying to look this up before, and I remember they had something called Kijiji. Okay, I don't know if you're familiar with. Now this one over here is sites like Gumtree. I didn't get a chance to do full research on it, but I remember trying to look into the eBay classifieds, and they had changed it from eBay classifieds to Kijiji. And the way I understand it, it's almost like a Craigslist, but it's everything was in Canada. Now, if they're making this here, they're changing this around. I didn't get a chance to do it recently, folks. I'm sorry, I apologize about that. But if they are going to make it where it's going to be in the U.S. as well as Canada, then that's good. You know, it's basically classifieds. It is almost the same thing as Craigslist, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, if you look at Kijiji, it's basically it's almost like the same format as Craigslist. So check it out for yourself. I didn't get a chance to look into it all fully, so I just want to let you know about that there. It might be something to look into. If you do sell in Canada, maybe it doesn't matter if it's in the U.S., but I thought they were going to do something with the U.S. This came out August 23rd, 2018. And the reason why I'm telling you the date it came out and the years, because I don't want you to think it's like 3 or 4 years old. Yes, it is a couple days old. I do apologize. There are times I can't always get to do the reseller news. I've been pretty busy this week and last week as well. And I do really apologize about that. But let's move along. Here it says, this came out, again, August 23rd, 2018. Marketing your eBay Motors listings just got more expensive. For those who are selling cars, you might want to check this out. It says eBay is raising the cost of marketing automobiles listings. Next month, the cost of the listing an item is changing, but the cost of using the optional gallery plus marketing feature is going to 150%. That's a lot. Sellers can choose the add gallery plus listings to make them more appealing in search results. Currently, the cost is $2 on eBay Motors. On September 5th, 2018, Gallery Plus will cost $5 for the following eBay motor categories: cars and trucks, motorcycles, boats, power sports, other vehicles and trailers. I'm not going to read the whole thing, folks. If you want to check it out, it's on ecommercebytes.com. I don't sell any parts of automobile right now. I don't sell cars on eBay. I know there's people who do and stuff like that, and it's good. But right now, this doesn't apply to me, but it may apply to you guys. So check into it. And if you are selling on eBay Motors, you might want to keep this information at hand. Let's move right along. Let's see. I don't know. I didn't do this already, did I? Let me see here. Seems very familiar. I'm sorry, folks. Sometimes I keep too many windows open up. eBay version of prevent installation. Okay, I think this is another one. I don't know. It's almost related to the other thing. eBay vacation mode didn't prevent penalties for late shipment. This sounds very familiar. I don't know if sometimes I open up and I get the same thing here. Let me see. Okay, I think I did this once. Yep, I'm sorry, folks. Do apologize. I had too many windows open. My fault. Okay, this one over here on this window here, it's Auction Bytes, of course. E-commerce Bytes. It's President Trump. This came out Sunday, August 26, 2018. President Trump tackles cheap postage for foreign sellers. President Trump ratcheted up pressure on the Universal Postal Union, UPU, which sets rates known as terminal dues for cross-border deliveries among the 192 countries, which include the U.S. In a memorandum on Thursday, he issued what could be seen as an ultimatum for the UPU to change the system soon or else. I'm not going to get into this. Again, if you want to read it, you're more than welcome to check it out. That's, you know where it is, ecommercebytes.com. Let's move right along. Here, this one here is on Gadgets 360, gadgets.ndtv.com. And it's over here, a rare Apple One computer to be auctioned may fetch over $300,000. The original Apple computer, which is still fully functional, is set to go on sale in September and could fetch more than $300,000, roughly RS2 1 cores, CROS or whatever cores, the media reported. Designed by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak in the 1970s, the rare computer is being auctioned by Boston-based R&R Auction and is one of the only 60 of such computers known to still exist today. So if anybody has $300,000 and you want to buy this here, is original one that Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak built in the 1970s. It's a nice piece of computer history if you have the money to do it. However, I would, but I don't have that kind of cash to do that just yet. I hope to have it someday. But to be honest with you, me being a frugal person like that, I don't really think I would spend $300,000. I think I could spend $300,000 on something a lot more, like to help my family out, pay for my kids' college tuition, set up trust funds. I think that would be the best way to go rather than having a computer that was built by two, computer magnets like Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I look up to these guys. Kudos for them. And God rest Steve Jobs' soul. He was a good man, like I said, as far as creating what he did, how he brought Apple out from when it was going through a financial crunch at one time, where they were losing revenue. When they brought him back after he got fired, they brought him back. He got Apple back on its feet again when he introduced the iPhone. But no, it's a nice piece of history to have. But again, like I said, if you got $300,000 and you don't know what to do with it, here you go. You can buy one of those computers. And I also like to share other things while I do the reseller news, folks. I'm going to talk about a couple other little different things here really quick. Let me bump out of here. I'm going to share this little advertisement. I am not getting anything for this, folks. I am not affiliated. I don't have any affiliated links. So if you go there and they ask you how you got there, if you want to throw a little thing out there, so you can say, I see on Reseller News on YouTube, this guy's mentioned your website. That's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. Here they got, like I said, this is called fragrancenet.com. Supposedly you can get 30% off your merchandise here. Like they got brand name stuff here. It'll say over here 30% off, 33%, 40%, 47% off, 44%. And you can click them on. They got all different ones: Elizabeth Arndt, Lancome, Vera Wang, and so on and so forth. David Doff, Yves Saint Laurent. And you can get cologne, perfumes, whatever, with the the markings off over here. You can see here 49% off, 64%. Again, I am frugal, so I don't buy stuff like this. I would go to Walmart and buy maybe a bottle of Brut. I used to like that in high school. I used it. I'd probably use it again, But I'm very conservative. I don't spend the kind of money, but I just thought I'd throw it out there for you guys. Let's move right along to this one here. For those who shop, and I think this pertains, I always see these ads coming up, and like I said again, I like to always share information with you guys. If you haven't tried honey, I haven't. I haven't bought anything recently off of Amazon, but you might want to check into this. It's free. It says add honey for free. It says over here, honey automatically applies the best coupon code at checkout. Never search for a code again. We got your back. And usually they have this as like not an alliance with Amazon, but they usually have it with the Amazon ads. You'll be putting it on here. As a matter of fact, it says it right over here, save thousands at stores. And they got Amazon, Groupon, Forever 21, hotels, Chegg, Sephora, Papa John. These are the places that you could save money with honey. Save money with honey. How do you like that? So you can check it out. I'm just putting it up there, folks. And I want to also just share something else with you guys right here. I got two other windows to open up. Well, let's go with this one first really quick here. I came across this ad here. This came out on MSN.com. And look, and folks, what I'm about to tell you, this is not to be discouraging. So please, I don't want parents or anybody calling me, not calling me or messaging me saying, how dare you put that? This is not me. I'm just sharing this information with you guys. But check this out. Myself, I have some college. I went to business school for retail business management. But I'm looking at this ad here, well, this article. It says the 33 lowest paying jobs for college grads. Now, it came out August 17, 2018. But what really gets me is, whenever you see people in positions, certain positions, you're thinking they're making a nice salary. But you got to understand, though, too. When you're a college graduate and they're starting you off, a company's starting you off with these are probably base salaries, what you're going to see. I'm going to show you in a second. But, I think a lot of people misinterpret that, though. I think when you're going to see these amounts of money that these people are making, you say, that's all they're making? But you got to understand, you're coming as a college grad. And, for a person that's been in that field for so many years, you can't expect to come in and say, oh, well, I want to make, what's the top salary here? Oh, it's 80,000. Well, I want to make 80, and if they're going to start you with 45 or 50. You got to work your way up the ranks. Now, I could be wrong. But I think the figures you're going to see here, the salaries that they're offering or they're paying here, I don't know if that's the top rock bottom price, But these could be starting salaries. But I just want to share this really quick with you guys. Let me go through this here. It says it'll be the 30 lowest paying jobs for college. So let's click the window here, and it'll give you a little overview. Here it says over here, this is first one. Well, that's the first slide. This is the second slide. It says fine artists, including painters, sculptors, illustrated. The median salary is $49,250. Okay. Now that's how it is. That's what they're saying. Okay? And they tell you total employment is 28,000. Projected employment is 28 to 26. 2016 to 2026, 6.6%. That's what they're gonna, be hiring at. That's the projected growth rate. So, for fine artists, I'm always looking at this. I'm saying, well, they got to be up there making $70,000, $80,000. But this paints a different picture. But folks, this is not to discourage people going to college. I encourage my kids to go to college. I encourage parents to, if they could, get their kids to go to college. You can't force them, but I would definitely encourage them to go. Let's move right along with this here. Farm and home management advisors, median average annual wage, $49,510. Typical entry-level education with a master's degree, okay? And then it tells you the projected employment growth. I'm not going to get into it. Like I said, I don't want to keep reading. There's 34 slides here. Here's another one, exercise physiologist, same thing, $49,000 to start, whatever. Well, that's their manual. That's the median annual wage. So let's move along, and that's with a bachelor's degree. Here's another marriage and family therapist, $48,790. Entry-level education is master's degree, and it's that's what's going on with that. Here's a graphic designer. I always thought graphic designers. Now it depends. Again, I knew a graphic designer was making 6 figures. Working for a big company. I forget the name of the company. Was it Standard & Poor's? It was one of those big companies in the city, and they were making nice cash. I mean, it was over 6 digits. But here, with a bachelor's degree, they start. This could be the starting price. Although I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, please let me know. Say, no, this is what they make or whatever. I'm quite sure with a bachelor's degree, I think this is what they're going to start you off with. I don't think they're going to start you less with that. I mean, I can't see it happening. But anyway, let's move right along here. Audio-visual multimedia collection specialist. Same thing, around the same price, $48,590 with a bachelor's degree. Okay, that's for for this type of position. Here's another one, meeting, convention, and event planners. Okay, median annual wage, $48,290. Okay, with a bachelor's degree. Okay, another one here, recreational therapist, median annual wage, $47,680, bachelor's degree. Statistical assistants, $47,400, bachelor's degree. Interpreters and translators, median annual wage, $47,190, bachelor's degree. A clergy, $47,100, education, bachelor's degree. Here's an education administrator, preschool and child care center program. Medium annual wage, $46,890, bachelor's degree. Athletic trainers, $46,630, bachelor's degree. Here's social science research assistants, $46,000, bachelor's degree. Credit counselors, $44,000 and change, bachelor's degree. And it goes on and on. Child, family, school, social workers, $44,000. These are with bachelor's degree. I'm not gonna tell you what if it's a bachelor's, you can see it here. It's on the screen. Biological technician, $43,000. Here's an agriculture inspectors, $43,000. Here's another one, counselors, all other, $43,000. That's for a master's degree. These now with master's degree, mental health and substance abuse social workers, $43,250, master's degree. Education training library workers, $43,000, bachelor's degree. And community and social service specialists, $41,570, bachelor's degree. Museum technicians, $40,000 change, bachelor's degree. Reporters and correspondents, $39,370, bachelor's degree. Directors, religious activities and education, median annual range wage is $38,980, bachelor's degree. Proofreaders and copy markers, $37,550, bachelor's degree. Rehabilitation counselors, $34,860, master's degree. Graduate teaching assistants, $32,460, bachelor's degree. Radio and television announcers, $32,450, bachelor's degree. Coaches and scouts, $32,270, bachelor's degree. Here is teachers, instructors, all other, $30,310, bachelor's degree. Religious workers, all other, $29,310, bachelor's degree. And legislators, median wage $25,630, bachelor's degree. Now, folks, I'm not showing you this here to, again, this is not to paint the bleak picture about college, okay? I'm just trying to say, you know, the point I'm trying to get across is, for those who are college graduates and you do have you know, master's and bachelor's degrees, don't let figures like this distort your mind, because I'm just showing you, like people say, well, you probably distort our mind, look at it. No, I like to share information, okay? And I'm very curious by nature. So, you know, for me, I don't want people to take this the wrong way. I'm just trying to help out in the sense that, you know, when a person graduates from college, you know, these may be starting salaries. Now, I doubt very much that, all right, you might say, well, you know, for this one here, legislative, $25,000, but, you know, you don't know where this is based. I mean, it could be in different states where they got a lower pay scale. You know, these could be different things. So you can't really take this into perspective. I'm not saying it most likely it could probably be a ballpark figure. I don't know. I'm not fully versed on it. I'm not, you know, a statistician that sits there and does statistics on these things. But if you were to do the pros and cons of different states, I'm sure a legislator is making a lot more than $25,000, especially if the person's got a bachelor's degree. You know what I'm saying? I think these might be starting salaries. You know, it's like a policeman. When a policeman, over here, we have in Nassau County, New York here, when a cop comes on the police force, I thought I heard they start off like between $18,000 and $30,000, and then like after so many years of service being on the police force, I think their top pay for a cop, this is if they don't, you know, go for any, like, you know, to become an officer, like a captain, a lieutenant, whatever, you know, have officer status. I think the salary will cap, I think, unless I'm wrong, about $105,000. I think that's their cap for a regular Nassau County cop. But if you become a detective or you become a captain or officer, the salary is definitely going to go up. I know somebody whose salary went up when they become a detective, putting in overtime, 35 years of service. Their salary is like $170,000, $180,000 a year. So, you know, it all depends. But again, this is not to discourage anybody from going to college. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you, you're going to say, hey, wait a minute. This is the flip side of it all. This is the part now. I'm laughing, but I'm not trying to be funny. Again, I just want to share this with you guys. I hope you don't get mad at me. These are 19 billionaires who didn't go to college. Now, I know it sounds contradicting. But again, I would not encourage, even though I'm gonna go through this quick, I would not encourage anybody to deter their kid from going to college. And I wouldn't bring this up and say, well, there's been a story of 19 billionaires who didn't go to college and they became billionaires. Listen, times have changed. Okay, what these 19 billionaires who didn't go to college did back then and you do now, it doesn't mean you're going to sit there and say, well, you know what? I ain't going to go to college. I'll probably be a billionaire someday. Listen, as a saying, I believe believe what you hear and only half of what you see. Okay, or it could be vice versa. Believe what you see and only half of what you hear. I tend to take everything with a grain of salt. Like, you know, these guys here, yes, they didn't go to college, but I'm sure they have some kind of background, some kind of educational background to get where they are, okay? I mean, even though you didn't go to college, you still have to have, you know, some kind of basic knowledge on how to run a business and stuff. But anyway, I know it looks like a contradiction. Lowest paying jobs with the college, 19 billionaires who didn't go to college. Believe me, don't let this discourage you. I'm just sharing some information. I just want to put it out there for you guys. Let's get started. Here we got over here, John D. Rockefeller. Okay, whoops, my computer's going wacky. Maybe they just want me to show you. Okay, it says oil magnate John D. Rockefeller is the most famous tycoons richest in America. But closest he ever came to college was with the 10-week business and bookkeeping course taken at the Folsom's Commercial College before starting work at the age of 16. So he went to, he took a course at a college, okay? So it was only 10 weeks, but you know the story with him, how he became, right? At one point, he was one of the richest guys in the world at that time, in his time. But again, people, encourage your kids to go to college. I did. My daughters are going to college, and my one graduated already. The other one's still going. I will not encourage them not to go to college. And I encourage you to tell your kids not to go. Don't tell them not to go to college, but encourage them to go to college. Here's another one, Henry Ford. Henry Ford left his family farm at 16 for Detroit and became a machine shop apprentice, engineer, revolutionizing transportation, and so on and so forth. As you know, he created, or he assembled the Model T, which is net worth is equal to $199 billion in today's dollars. Okay, a man's college and university degrees means nothing to me until I see what it is able to do for them with them. Um, Again, that's his take on it. It worked for him. It may not work for everybody. Let's move right along. Here's a guy, Amancio Ortega, net worth $70 billion. He's one of the richest men in Europe. And let's see what goes over here. I don't want to read the whole story. It says left school at the age of 14. Never returned. Instead of finding work at the shop, and so on as a shirt maker, where he learned to make clothes by hand. Okay, again, could it happen in today's day and age where somebody who's not a college graduate or a high school dropout or whatever can do something? They probably have. I haven't done research on it yet, but I'm sure it is. I'm sure there are people out there, folks. But don't let this, I'm not saying to plant the bug in your head, but just remember, folks, what happened back to these people back then is a little different today. Here's Kirk Kerkorian, worth approximately $4 billion at the time of his death. He's single and usually paid. I'm just reading this over here. Dropped out in 8th grade to become an amateur boxer. Okay, so he dropped out of 8th grade. Okay, he didn't. All right, well, he didn't go to he finished high school according to this. All right, but again, it's all the timing. Here's a guy, Francis Pinault. Okay, it says over here, Francis Pinault founded the French luxury brands group Kering in 1963. Today, with his Hollands and so on and so forth, Samsonite and Saint Laurent, he's worth $31 billion. He left school at 15 when his classmates made fun of him for a rural accent and shabby clothes. All right, again, it is what it is. Let's move right along. David H. Murdoch, another guy, rags to riches story. He was drafted. What is this over here? He worked at a gas station before being drafted in World War II. Then he bought and sold a Detroit diner. Now he must have had some money there. He bought a diner back then, acquiring the Hawaiian real estate and outfit Castle and Cook. What happened to own a fruit company and Dole, so on and so forth. And he he says he's worth $2 billion. So let's move right along. Richard Branson. Okay, one of the most recognizable billionaires. So Richard Branson dropped out of school due to struggles with dyslexia, poor academic performance at 15, at which point the headmaster speculated he'd either end up a millionaire or in jail. Branson developed his first business, a mail order record retailer, into Virgin Group. He oversees today, which controls over 400 companies, and so on and so forth. And it goes on to say whatever here. If you want to read the rest of it, I'm not going to get too much into it because this is going to take a long time. Lillian Bentecourt. Here's another one. Born heiress of the world's largest cosmetic companies, L'Oreal. And it says over here, needed higher education and for what blah, blah, blah. It says over here, she joined a family company as an apprentice at 15, became a principal shareholder in 1957. She was 35 and the world's wealthiest woman. She died last year, 94, at $44.7 billion net worth. Okay. Here's another one, Ingvar Kamprad. Okay, another guy at 5. Ingvar was already displaying business sense. 5 years old. Wow. Selling matches around the neighborhood, but he struggled in school due to dyslexia. Another one with dyslexia. This may have been driven him to choose work over continuing education at the age of 17. He founded a mail order furniture business. The other one founded a mail order. The other guy with he got into the mail order business. This one here did too. Okay, called IKEA. Okay, so this guy owns IKEA. His net worth is $42 billion at his death of this year. Okay, here's another one, Carl Linder Jr. Despite the Great Depression, Carl Linder Jr. dropped out of school at the age of 14. Isn't it funny how these guys drop out of school 14, 5, whatever, to start business, all these different ages. But when I was their age, I wasn't even thinking about a business at the time. I mean, I had a lemonade stand, but I mean, what these guys went on to do with their lives, it's amazing. Okay, so it goes on to say here, I left school at the age of 14, joined the family business, helped expand into a wildly successful convenience chain, United Dairy Farmers. Before his death in 2011, he was worth $1.7 billion. Okay, let's move right along here. Joe Louis, what a yacht! Holy smokes! Super butler at Wolf's. Okay, I don't know. I guess that's his boat. I guess I don't know. British businessman Joe Louis is worth $5 billion. Those investments, International Tavistock Group, and currently, which is being labeled tax exile and moving to Bahamas and so on and so forth. I'm trying to see over here what he did here. Sold to make his fortune. Okay, he left school at 15 to run his father's London catering business. Okay, another guy left his 14, 15, 5. All right, these guys got something. I'm lacking something here. Alan Sugar, dropping out of school again at the age of 14. What's that 14 and 15 age? Didn't stop Alan Sugar from finding work as a statistician with the UK's Ministry of Education, moving to sell electronics from the back of his van. These humble beginnings led Sugar to gaining a 1.3 billion net worth. There you go. All right, here's another guy. All right, John Caldwell, an English businessman, philanthropist, whose net worth near $3 billion. He left school. There we go again. He left school at the age of 15. I got to keep moving on, folks. Lawrence Graff, now the multi-billionaire founder of jewel supply Graff Diamonds. Lawrence Graff started out cleaning toilets after his mother decided that he should leave school due to poor performance when he was 15. Again with the 15. In 2008, he founded Facet Foundation to raise standards of health, education, and well-being in South Africa, and so on and so forth. And yeah, there you go. Let's see what's here. Roman Abramovich, whatever, as a Russian Jewish billionaire, he said his net worth is $11.7 billion by virtue of his investments in steel ownership of the Chelsea Football Club. His humble beginnings included an orphan childhood in northern Russia and departure from a school at 17. Okay, he went to, at least he stood in school a little longer, right? And anyway, it says when he launched his career imported rubber ducks. As far as back as 2013, he won a distinction of having donated more money than any other living Russian, with substantial portion going towards educational causes. All right, that's good. Good education. I'm all for it. Okay, Richard M. Schultz, Best Buy founder and former CEO. Richard Schultz is now net worth $2.9 billion, despite having dropped out of Central High School. Okay, he dropped out of Central High School, St. Paul, Minnesota, before graduating. Though his plans attending college anyway, he never came to be Schultz. Schultz became a donor, trustee, and honorary degree at the recipient University of St. Thomas later in life. Okay, let's move right along. We're getting close here. Chaim Seban, Israeli media mogul, is an investor worth $3.2 billion, which mostly earned by producing children's programs such as Mighty Morphin, Power Rangers for Saban Entertainment. He spends in pro-Israel and democratic political causes. Growing up, he was expelled from an Israeli boarding school for troublemaking and told by the principal, you're not cut out for academic studies. You're cut out for making money. Saban finished his high school and pursued a formal education. No further. There's a guy, at least he went to high school. I got to give him credit. Hats off to you, buddy. And we're coming over here, John Paul DeJoria. Did you ever see him on, he was on Shark Tank too, but he tells a little story. You could, I think it was on YouTube. He told the story how he got to where he is. It says over here, at $4 billion net worth, Paul DeJoria is a self-made entrepreneur, a philanthropist best known for co-founding Paul Mitchell hair care line and Patreon Spirits. He had a rough childhood growing up in Los Angeles, being sent from his mother into a foster care, and joining a street gang before high school math teacher inspired him to change. DeJoria finished high school, kudos to you, but joined Navy and later worked as a salesman rather than attend university. Okay, so at least he went to high school, right? He finished up his high school. That's good. That was a nice story with him too, by the way. I remember watching a video about him. I think he also did a documentary too about it. He talked about himself. And last but not least, David Green. As a founder of the Hobby Lobby, David Green and his family employed 15,000 full-time employees with more than 600 stores across the nation, earning them a current net worth of $5.2 billion. He completed high school in Oklahoma but never attended university. Instead, becoming a retail manager using a $600 loan to start a home business, assembling and selling picture frames. Today, he is an avid door evangelical Christian colleges, to the Christian colleges, and giving entire campus to the Zion Bible colleges in 2007. So let me bump out of here, folks. Just wanted to share that with you, and I hope people don't get mad at me for showing that stuff. I just want to say, folks, the reason why I showed it, look, I know it sounds contradicting, like you say, 1 minute you're showing people that graduate college making a low pay scale, and then you're showing people that are billionaires that didn't go to college. I know the whole thing is bizarre, it's crazy, but that's also inspiring to me as well when I see things like this. Um, Again, for adults that do watch this video and watch this here, it's not to deter you or deter you from having your children go to college. I'm all for school and education. Believe me, there's nobody more into education than I am. Okay, the reason why I'm putting this out is because I'm a very curious person by nature, and I get fascinated by how people create businesses. My father, God rest his soul, used to say, business is based on common sense. And let me tell you something. And if you don't believe me, you can check it out on YouTube. I talked about this in one of my other videos. There's a skit that Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook and Bill Gates does, where I think they're sitting on a couch and they're talking, and or something along that line. And Bill Gates turns, I think, to Mark Zuckerberg. You got to see it. You got to see the clip. It's on YouTube. Just got to type in Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates doing a commercial or some kind of skit. And in the skit, Bill Gates goes, "Did they know we didn't graduate college? They didn't go to college. They didn't graduate. They both went to Harvard." From the story, if you see the Social Network, which I watch, and that's another thing. I love business shows. I do. I love them dearly. I think I love them. I just love watching shows like that. I like my favorite shows, just to share it with you, is Henry Ford, The Man and the Machine. I like Peter Cooper, The Man and the Machine. I think he's The Man and the Machine, something like that. Peter Cooper story. I also like The Social Network. It talks about how Mark Zuckerberg started Facebook. Pirates of Silicon Valley with Bill Gates, and how him and how Bill Gates and Steve Jobs founded, and the Microsoft, Bill Gates with Microsoft and Steve Jobs with the Apple computer. I love those stories, folks. I really do. I watch documentaries. I go on YouTube and I watch documentaries about R.H. Macy's, Sears, what do you call it there, John D. Rockefeller. You name it, I watch them. I love documentaries. I love watching how people start businesses. And folks, as contradicting as it may seem with this here, and I hope you guys don't take it the wrong way, but when I say my banner on my YouTube channel, to help inspire and share, for some people, putting it bluntly, for some people, school education isn't for everybody. And believe me, and I don't discourage it by far. I don't. But you know what? I read an article. I don't know where it was. I don't know if it was on one of these business sites I sign up with, or was it news? I think it might have been on the news, where they were saying a lot of millennials now, they don't want to go to college. They want to start their own firms, their own businesses. Now, this is not me saying it. I don't know. It had to be. It was either Nightly Business Report or one of those shows, or PBS. It was one of those news shows. And they were talking, they did a statistics that the millennials today, the young kids today, they don't want to go to college. They want to start their own business. They want to be founders of high-tech companies, app developers. Then you got people just starting businesses out of their head. I don't know what they're conjuring up, but I remember hearing that story, and I was like, wow. I mean, back then, our parents would encourage us, you go to school and you get a good education. Now, I don't know, when a kid's a certain age, you could, as a parent, my father used to say, I could only guide you and advise you. He couldn't force us to go to college. If we wanted to go to school, elementary school and high school, we had to do that. There was no doubt about it. You could have, he would give you the option, but I tell you one thing, he'd really be upset if you did that. We're growing men, you're young adults, and you have a mind of your own to think. But, for some people, that's why I guess they do have high school dropouts. They just don't like school. They don't like the education. And I think that's wrong. Okay? Some people struggle with college. And maybe that's why the millennials today, in some cases, they think about, I don't want to go to school. I want to start my own business. And then you go on YouTube and you see these sites. And I'm not mentioning names, folks, but you'll hear people sitting there saying, you can make all this money and you don't have to have a college degree and this and that and the other thing that's going on, yada, 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 going on and on and on about how you can make so much money, travel around the world doing this and that. I don't go to school. I dropped out of college. I gave up college because it wasn't doing nothing. Look, I understand that. Okay, I understand. For some people, school isn't for them. And it ain't. For some people, it ain't. Okay? But me, even though I, well, all right, I didn't get to talk to my daughters. I talked to them a while back about stuff like this here. But let me tell you something, folks. I myself, even reading these stories, I still encourage my daughters to go to college, and they do. They are. One graduated, the other one, one graduated bachelor's degree, and the other one's working their way towards a bachelor's degree. I wouldn't want them to do that there. Now, here's the thing. That being said, if they went to college and got their degrees in business or engineering, aerospace engineering, whatever it may be, and later on down the line they decide to go off on their own, that's totally up to them. Would I encourage it? Would I stand by them and back them up and stuff like that? Say, would you be there for them and say, well, I'm all for what you want to do. Being a father, and those are my daughters, I would stand by them with their decisions. I would tell them and encourage them to really think about what you're doing as far as giving up your career. In other words, you went to school all these years and sacrificed, and let alone the student loans enough to choke a horse. Think about what you're doing. Some people take the plunge. Okay, they do. They take the plunge. They go to school, get these bachelor's and master's degrees, and then later on you find out, you hear stories like, oh, what happened? Oh, they spun off into their own business. Well, if that's the case, then if you always had this, or sometimes you hear people say, well, I always had the idea of going to my business, going to business. If you had your idea of going to business, then why didn't you do it before you went to college and spent all that money? It's not a bad thing. Listen, having an education is not a bad investment. Don't get me wrong. No matter at what cost. I mean, if you spend $30, $40, $50, $60,000 on education, it is not a bad investment by any chance, by any thought. So don't ever think, oh, I went to college and I did it. No, absolutely not. Because you're well versed and educated now, okay? As opposed to a person who has, and I'm not saying this to be funny, but you have different levels of education. So a person that went to high school is a high school graduate, as opposed to someone that's got associates or bachelor's or master's degrees. You may tend to lack a little fundamentals of business or whatever because you didn't further your education. There's nothing wrong with being a high school graduate, folks. Believe me. I still think in today's day and age, it'd be nice to have a bachelor's or a master's degree, or at least on the low end, get yourself an associate's degree. I'm not saying I'm not making it derogatory. I'm just saying if you just wanted to go to a 2-year college, there's nothing wrong with having a high school diploma. Okay? So there's other things I could share with you guys as well about that as well, that billionaires become successful. But that's not the whole premise of this here. The reason why I brought this up is, with this here as well, and it's for me as well. It just goes to show you, even if you don't have a completed education where you didn't get associates or a bachelor's or a master's degree, and you have that entrepreneurial spirit and you want to pursue something, what I'm trying to say is looking at that should give you a little encouragement, thinking, okay, I only went so far in school, but I think I could do something more. You know what I'm saying? I know it sounds contradicting, and maybe I'm not saying it right. Maybe it's not, it's not coming out right. But I think you might have an idea what I'm talking about. And it's it's not by any means to discourage people from going to school. Please don't take it that way. But for people who, like I said again, who haven't completed school or whatever, or only got so far in education, and thinking that they can't do things, pointing that out to you is just to show you, say, look what these people have done. In other words, if you only have a high school diploma, don't put yourself down, folks. Really, don't put yourself down. Don't look at yourself any less than a person that has a bachelor's or master's degree. In life, it's all a matter of choice. Some people just will walk the path of life and think less of themselves, and you shouldn't think less of yourself. Always think positive and, be uplifting within yourself. project a good aura, you know, and stay focused. Hey, listen, my life ain't no peach and cream either. Okay, I went through 2 layoffs and a company bankruptcy, and the reason why I got more involved with the reselling news and doing YouTube channel and getting involved in eBay on a full-time basis is for the simple reason is I've been there. I graduated high school, went to college, stuff like that there. I gave it my all to companies, and I did my best I could. And it's nothing personal. I got 1,000 people got laid off in the last position I had. Working in finance, 1,000 jobs went overseas. Another company went bankrupt. Okay, and after 9/11, I was in the IT field, in the first one. After 9/11, 65 people lost their jobs, but that was not outsourced, that was insourced. What happened was it took 65 jobs and moved it to Georgia, cheaper labor cost. Hourly rate was cheaper, it was more cost effective for the company. Even being in operations, computer operations, because I was a low man total pool, I just got the job, I was only there for 15 months. After 9/11, 65 people got laid off. Their jobs went, that was insourced, not outsourced. I call it insourced. They went to, the jobs didn't go overseas, they went to Georgia. So you see, folks, that's why I am where I am today as far as I'm doing this. But you know something? I don't, in my other videos, I don't discuss religion and politics, but you know something? I want to just leave this with you before I do end this video. I am on the religious side of life, okay? I do believe in a man above. And people may agree to disagree, but I believe in life, God has a plan and purpose for us. What it is, I don't know. I talk about this to my family and family members, and they'll say, well, what do you think it is? I don't know. I can't read God's mind, okay? I don't know what it is, but I will say this. For every cause, for every effect, everything has a cause and effect to it. It's like that old saying, for every action is an opposite way, reaction, right? Sometimes we get into situations that we can't get ourselves out of, or sometimes we're propelled into these situations, and it's to, let us live our passion, especially when we're getting older. I'm getting older. One of my dreams and passions was, believe it or not, this sounds crazy, even before YouTube, was to do videos and was to do e-commerce, be it any platform. I had a mail order business back in the day, and it was doing good. I talked about it in one of my videos. It was pretty good, but as time goes on, when you get ready to get married and stuff, I couldn't spend the money like I used to. I couldn't spend that kind of money on things, on advertisement. It was costing too much money. I had to save it to buy a house, and just got married and stuff like that. So, money was tight back then. But I had it going before I started getting into seriously saving money to buy a house and stuff and getting ready to get married. But I always liked e-commerce. I love it. I love mail order. I love e-commerce. Now today, mail order, I'm not saying it's a thing of the past, but with e-commerce, it's so easy now. You don't have to go through a catalog. But I tell you the truth, people should think about that there, about mail order, sending out catalog. I'm sure you can still get catalogs. I know that. But, now with e-commerce, it's a flick of the button, push a button here, your items off to you, get shipped to your house, You don't need a catalog. You could have an online catalog. But folks, I always did like it, and and I think as time goes on, I think somehow I want to turn this. I want to try to get this a business where I can make it successful. I'm trying. I am trying. I'm giving it my all. Late nights, staying up, doing research. It's not easy. Get a lot of headaches at night. Here it's 6 o'clock right now, on 6 p.m. over here in the New York East Coast. I didn't even get a chance to have dinner yet. And it's a shame because everything I do is so fast. When a family goes out in the morning, I got the place to myself. I start, getting ready to. The first thing I do in the morning is turn on my computer. 6 o'clock in the morning, I get up, get the coffee ready, come here, look and see if I got any orders from eBay or whatever. See if there's anybody leaving comments for my YouTube channel, whatever. Answer emails, answer questions, whatever. And that's how I start my day. And it doesn't end from 6 o'clock in the morning till usually 12:30 midnight. I usually like to try to stop it, cut it short right there and then. And it's a 7-day a week thing. It's this really, that's why when I see these guys on YouTube and they're sitting there talking, I travel all around the world. I just got back from going here and there and everywhere. When you have this business, you have so much freedom to spend time. Kudos to you. I don't know how you do it. God bless you. I don't have the time, or I'm not making a substantial income to go travel around the world, to buy Lamborghinis, live in multi-million-dollar mansions and stuff like that, and live life the way I want. Like say, live life the way you want to live it. That's great. That's, hey, what's that saying? A buck in a dream? You know, that's nice. Like saying, well, if a big lottery comes up and it's worth $300-400 million, you take that dollar bill, you buy a lottery ticket, and heck, you could, live on Easy Street if you hit the lottery. You're gonna live life to the fullest, right? Not happening. It's not happening. I'm not saying people don't win the lottery, but it ain't gonna happen. It's not like something you're just gonna sit there and say, you know what? Today I'm gonna go. It's Friday. I'm gonna go play the Powerball. I'm gonna go down to my local 7-Eleven, and I'm gonna pay $2 worth, and I think I'm gonna be a millionaire this weekend. Right? Like they all saying is, you got a better chance of getting struck by lightning than hit the lottery. People do hit it though. They do hit it. People won what, 300 million, almost $500 million. There was one a while back. People do hit it. They do hit it. If the luck is with them, they hit it. My father used to always tell me, God rest his soul, he'd say, well, if you could spare $2, $1 or two, play the lottery. What can it do? It can't hurt you. No, it can't hurt you, but if you keep doing it on an ongoing basis or for daily basis, whatever, which I know people that do it on a daily basis, that's a nice chunk of cash at the end of the year. Do you realize if you were to do that, dump $20 a week away on lottery, okay, and you say that, I think throughout the course of the year, I think that comes to what? I don't know. I can't do the math right now, but let's say you spent $100. Let's just say you spent $100 a week, and I know people who do that. That's $1,200 a year just on lottery tickets. You could sit there and take that $100 bill or whatever, that allotment for your lottery or whatever, and put it in a savings bank and watch your money grow. You're guaranteed. My father used to always tell me, you want to get ahead of the game when it comes to lottery. Take that money and put it in the bank, and you'll watch it grow. You'll have a better chance of making your money grow than you would if you hit the lottery. And I know people sit there and say, yeah, but you have to be in it to win it. I know. How many people have been in to win it and lost thousands of dollars years? I'm talking about playing for years. I mean, let's be realistic with each other, folks. I mean, it's all a matter of luck. And, to hit those 6 lucky numbers in the Powerball, whatever, that's all, what is it, 5, and then hit the Powerball number. I don't play it that much. Even when it's $500 million, I don't play it. And you want to know why I don't play it? Because I talk to this with my family. 9 out of 10, and I'm not saying this to be funny either, folks, so don't take it the wrong way. I'm not making any derogative statements. But 9 out of 10, the people that win it, it's going to be in another state. It's never in New York area. I'm not saying never, but whenever they come to those big ones there, it's usually somebody in another state winning it, Not that doesn't matter. I'm not saying to be funny, but, I'm just saying, the way it works, But anyway, guys, listen, I'm going to call it a day here. I hope you guys got something out of this video, and I hope you didn't take it the wrong way as far as those 2 last parts of the segment I showed you about the low-paying jobs and the billionaires who did it without college. It's not for anything, so please don't take it the wrong way, and please don't leave any nasty comments. Nobody has so far, but I will give you a heads up, okay, on that part. If anybody gives me or is thinking of writing any nasty comments to me, making fun, calling names or whatever, they haven't happened, thank God, so far. All I'm saying to those out there who want to do that, don't waste your time, because I'm not going to rebuttal with you. I'm not going to get into a cyber war with you, okay? And I'm not going to respond to you. Plain and simple. When it comes into my spam folder on YouTube, I will just delete it and let it be gone, okay? I'm not saying that to be mean, so people say, oh, so you're not going to respond to comments, good or bad? No, I will respond to good comments, but I'm not going to respond to bad ones. I'm not going to. I didn't come onto YouTube or start a YouTube channel to be, demoralized and be, and be, made fun of, and people making derogative statements about me. That's not what this YouTube channel is all about, okay? It's to help inspire and share with people, okay? It's also a clean content channel, okay? I don't, outside of the little religion I talked before about, I don't discuss on this channel religion or politics, and I don't use profanity, okay? It's a clean content channel. You're not going to hear crazy talk on this channel. So for those who are new, please keep that in mind. If I consider it a kid-safe channel. Okay, so you don't have to sit here and worry about and say, geez, if I watch that guy's channel, is he going to start off talking nice and next thing you know, he's going to start throwing the F-bomb? That's not going to happen over here, folks, not with this channel. It's not going to happen. I'll tell you right to boot, it won't happen. You're not going to hear profanity coming out of my mouth, all right? And you're not going to hear me talk out crazy stuff. There are people that like to do crazy things out there in YouTube world, but I'm not one of them. And I'm not knocking those other creators. There's a lot of talented creators out there, folks. A lot of talented creators, you know? And I tell you, sometimes I envy them the way they do their special effects and the graphics and stuff like that. I envy them. I say, wow, I go, I'm trying to do stuff like that too. I want to be a good creator, content creator with YouTube. But I tell you one thing though, I hope you do subscribe to my channel. And if you do like the content, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that notification bell if you want to be updated on new videos I put out. The content just going forward is going to change. So I'll tell you right now, so it's not going to be the same blah, 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 blah. Reseller news is always going to be about eBay, Amazon, Etsy, whatever. That I can't change that format. Okay? Maybe a little, like today I changed a little with, I showed you the fragrancenet.com, and I talked a little about the other things there. The honey thing, about honey, how you could save your money, stuff like that. But, it's going to change a little. The content's going to change. So it's going to be, I'm trying to come up with fresh ideas, something to keep you guys interested, and you'll keep coming back for more and more. That's what that's what I want to do with this channel. I don't want it to be bland. I want to do some do-it-yourselves, how-to videos, or I just might want to talk about myself. I might want to do a little bio about myself, a little intro, telling you a little about myself as far as how I got in here. Well, basically, I said a little before, but maybe get into a little more. I don't want to make an hour of it, but just to give you a little insight about what I went through, how what happened with me and stuff like that, in my situation. And different things. Talk about digital photography. Talk about the cameras I use to take my pictures, the things I use to do my videos and stuff like that. I want to share stuff with you guys. That's the whole idea of this here, to help, inspire, and share, and come up with money saving tips. Okay, you say, well, you're giving up. I get the sources from other I give those tips from other sources, and in turn I share them with you guys out there. So if you want to be updated, folks, you need to hit that subscribe button. I can't subscribe for you, but if you could hit that, if you could help this channel grow, we grow together. You could give me ideas to help implement. You can help me. Give me ideas so I can implement them in my YouTube creation or my channel here, and get good content out there. Maybe you want to see me talk about different things. Maybe there's a subject or a topic that you want to hear me talk about. I'll be more than happy to oblige. As long as it's something that's not really way out there, you know what I'm saying? I don't want it, I don't, get into different topics outside of what I just stated to you, okay? I don't want to go tail spinning off in different directions. This channel is strictly what it is. That's why I changed my banner from rjpasini.com, helping, inspiring, and sharing through social media. Okay, that's what it's all about, folks. But anyway, this is Rich Pasini signing off. Reseller News, August 28, 2018. I hope you guys have a great evening. I'm going to try to sit down and have some dinner. It's getting late. It's going on 6:30 over here. I am tired. I've been up late early and stuff like that. I'm just about shot to the socks, so to speak, and I just want to get something to eat maybe afterwards and have a little dessert, have a nice cup of coffee, and just chill out for a little time, and then go back to doing some more research again and stuff like that until midnight, I guess. I usually cut off time is like 12:30 midnight. So that's the way it goes. I do this 7 days a week. It's no pun intended, but there's no vacation for me. There's no paid sick days, no paid holidays. When I lost all that at my job. When you lose your job, all that's gone. It's gone in the blink of an eye, folks. So it's a whole different ball game, and I'm going to try to make it work. Just like in a movie that goes on, I think it's on Saturday. It's called Startup. I don't know if you ever watch it, but I like to come in attractions in there, and the guy's interviewing some people, and there's one girl in it says failure is not an option, and she talks about how she created her business and started, and she's making it work, and that's true. In this type of business or any business, you can't let failure be an option. You got to always find a will. Well, there's a will, there's a way, right? You got to try to make it work. Come up with new ideas, be creative, you know. If you do go sourcing, try to source for good stuff and stuff. So I will drop links below for my stuff as well if you want to check it out on eBay and see what I got to offer. I've been setting a lot of best offers on a lot of my merchandise I have up there. The sooner I get rid of a lot of it, the sooner I can start getting better stuff up there. It will be probably more pricier, but I'm hoping to do that in the coming up in the fall. I'm going to try to see how it goes. It all depends on the money situation. If I can unload a lot of merchandise, I will start buying better stuff. But like I said, it will be more pricey though. But I'm going to get rid of the nickels and dimes stuff I'm selling, folks. You know, I know my father, God rest his soul, used to have a saying, slow nickels bring in fast dimes. But you know, in today's day and age, we can't live on slow nickels or fast dimes. We need currency, we need paper, man. We need, like, you know, to make money, period. You know, maybe back in the 30s and the 40s that stuff worked, but today it's a whole different world game. You know, I mean, I can't afford to, you know, keep making such low sales. I have so much stuff on there, well, enough stuff on there that's cheap. I mean, really cheap. I was trying to base on those principles to sell on scale, you know, sell, you know, high volume and get a profit, you know, get a profit margin on a small profit, and hopefully that would work. But it's not going the way I planned. So you got to be a strategist, and you got to keep thinking of new things to work, you know, to make it work. Anyway, take care, guys. Have a great day. Until next time. Bye-bye now.